Positive offense, better. Ran the ball, obviously, way better than we have in 3 weeks. Made more plays in the passing game, moved the ball, had the ball for 18 minutes in the first half. Obviously, long ways to go. We got 3 points at halftime, so moving the ball and scoring points are two different things. But it was obviously better from that side of the ball. Gave us a chance. Should have been in the game based on how our offense controlled some clock and stayed on the field. Defensively, comes down to misfitting run plays. We had kids playing hard. They want to do it, but Northern does a good job with formations and all the jets and the motions. And when we fit things up, we made some plays, but we misfit an alarming amount of plays. And that's what it boils down to. They're good enough if you fit things right. They're good enough to block you. They're good enough. But we gave two long runs in the first half on just a simple train play that you see almost every week, and gave up long run the second half on an inside zone fax, which is a straight up play, and a power late in the game, obviously, when we had some shock troops in there. But should have been in the game, should have had a chance. Well, I don't know that we win the game, but should have had a chance to win based on at least maintaining the ball and not turning it over. Special teams are better, except for running into their punt returner twice was really, really bad. We got to get that rectified. But the special teams was better. We need the field goal at the end of the first half. Would have been huge to make it 21-6 to keep some momentum. But we didn't get it, but we have kicked the ball better.
It seemed when things were going right, the drive ended up going with something wrong. You pick up two big first downs, Kenny Young fumbles, drive 50 yards, get to the red zone, Billy throws a pick. How do you become more consistent?
Just repetition, and them seeing it and them understanding how critical every play is and experience. So that's just got to keep plugging away. Again, we did some better things, but as you said, you're right on the driving the ball and scoring points are two different things, and you have to be physically and mentally tough to continue and get the ball all the way down across the end zone.
And what's your assessment of Billy in his second start in terms of decision-making, like the jitters under pressure?
Yeah, I thought he was obviously much better, but obviously start off was not a very high bar. So, but just much better. And that the pick comes holding on the ball, throwing it late, in the middle of the field. He's got to either run it or he's got to get the ball outside, and he's got to, they dropped in coverage, dropped a lot of guys back there. His initial read wasn't open, it's fine. He can't bounce. A lot of his mistakes have come really late, hanging on the ball and then making a late throw and hoping, and again, much better, but he's obviously got to eradicate that and keep learning.
Obviously, you get a chance to look at film every week. Can you tell how much Billy's progressing here? I know there are still some receivers that are, that he's not quite picking up out there. There was a blitz in the first half that I think he had the right idea of throwing it down the middle along. He just didn't get it to the guy. But can you see progress in what he's doing?
Yeah, definitely from last week to this week. But again, like we said, it was a major struggle last week, so you would hope he would take a step forward. The same type of pressure he hit. We had the same route on. We protected it a little better in the second half. He hit Fred for the touchdown, really the same throw that he missed in the first half. And he threw a little early, but they got somebody up inside, or he felt like they got somebody up inside. So, yeah, no, he made progress. But, we got a long way to go at that position.
Can you comment a little bit on the diversity of Northern Illinois? Because they don't, they're not just the pass. They can hurt you with the pass, but obviously they can hurt you with the run.
They set everything up with the run and set up formations and all the jets and all. They get you to change your gaps right in midstream when they go on balance, and then they're not on balance, and then they're jet motioning, and they're getting you. They do a lot of different things, run games that you got to cover, and you got to be very disciplined, and they score a lot of points, and they run for a lot of yards for a lot of years, so obviously it's very difficult. So I felt a lot better going in. I thought our kids had a good handle on everything they were doing, and at times we were okay, but not close enough. We had too many guys guessing and chasing, or they jet a guy, and the guy that's not supposed to chase a jet kind of flinches, and then they hit it right up inside, and so then we miss some tackles too and get blocked some on the perimeter. Our back end guys got to be able to get off blocks better. They kind of manhandled our back end guys at a time when they did pop through. It shouldn't be a 60-yard touchdown every time, but we got to get guys get off blocks and make plays.
Hare had a big day running the ball last year, but it seemed like you contained him a little bit more this year as far as him getting loose and everything? Was that an emphasis or focus?
Yeah, I
during the
mean,
week?
you got to defend their tailbacks and their quarterback on every down. So we didn't really emphasize defending Hare or their tailbacks. We were trying to defend both of them all the time, and we obviously did a little better job against him and a worse job against their tailbacks, obviously, because they ran wild. So just, you know, you got to defend them both on every play. They run the quarterback, they run their tailbacks. Everything they do in the pass games pretty much set off their runs. So you got to defend the run first, and we didn't stop what they do to beat you. You know, we gave up huge amount of yards rushing and big chunk plays rushing, which is what they do. You got to try to take that away, and if you give up some plays in the pass, you might have to accept that against Northern. But really, we defended the pass better than we defended the run, which is not what we set out to do.
So earlier in the week, Coach said this would be the best offense you'd face besides Wisconsin and UC. Was it what you expected? Did you feel outmatched at all?
I mean, it was pretty much what we expected. We just didn't execute our defense today. We misfit a lot of run plays on those long touchdowns, myself included, and they did what we thought they were going to do, and we just didn't execute.
And after the first quarter, it looked like they were going to run away with it right then, but you held them scoreless through the second. So during that break between quarters, when you regroup, what did Coach tell you, to change differently?
We didn't really have to change what we were doing. Our game plan was sound and our scheme was good. We just needed to start to execute it, and we did start to execute a lot better in the second quarter. Tailed off a little bit there in the fourth quarter, but we started to execute our game plan, and we saw what happened. We didn't give up any points in the second quarter.
When you say you have misfits and that you're as much of a fault as anybody on the team, in your case, that would seem a little unusual because of your experience. Do you find yourself maybe anticipating a younger player not being there and maybe trying to do too much?
I don't know. I don't think it has anything really to do with that. I think it's just more of they run a lot of different plays, and they run plays where they're pulling one guard, two guards, they're pulling a center and a guard at the same time. And if you don't recognize it in that split second, you're not going to be in your gap. So it's just once we got better at play recognition as the game went on, we started to fit those things right. But at the start, we were not recognizing it quick enough.
I asked the coach about this. At your particular position, you would have a good perspective on it, but Northern Illinois has some good diversity with the run and pass, going for them. How much stress does that put on the defense, having a team like that?
I mean, it does put a lot of stress on you because there's so much more that you have to prepare for throughout the week, and there's so much more running through your head when you're out there on the field. It's hard to get a good read on what they're doing just based on a formation because they run so much motion and, faxing their fullbacks back and forth. So you really just have to you're playing more reactionary than you would against a normal team where you'd have a pretty good idea of what they're doing.
It looked like Hare, too, sometimes was pretty good at maybe looking people off, defenders off of where he was going to go a little bit later on.
Yeah.
So would you say that?
Yeah, I mean, he's a good quarterback, really experienced guy, and he runs their offense. He does exactly what they ask him to do. So, he's a good player.
Game slowed down for you a little bit from last week to this week?
Just more preparation. Watched a lot of film this week and knew what they were going to do going into the game. They had a couple mix-ups for us, but I just know, just being a freshman, being experienced, that I have to get in on tape more and prepare better for what they're going to do to us.
How good did that last throw down the middle for the touchdown feel?
I felt good. I mean, not as good as you'd like if we were winning, but I mean, just keep getting better. That's all we just got to keep doing.
I asked Kent the same question, but after the first quarter, it seems, after I think 3 of the 4 drives were 3-and-outs, and then you started moving the ball after that. So after that break, what did Coach tell you guys, and what made you guys get going after that?
We didn't really change anything. We just kind of kept doing what the game plan had. We were able to run the ball very well. The line protected me pretty well for most of the game, and just doing that, we were able to keep the ball moving. We made some crucial mistakes, a lot of penalties, negative plays that kept moving us back, and we just got to get rid of those and start executing a little better.
And I talked to you early this week about Sean Lurie. It seemed like he was all over the place with breakups. He had the pick. How frustrating was it to kind of take him out of the picture?
I mean, he's a great player. He reads your eyes very well, and that's what he did on that pick. I just got to know what the defense is in before the play and post-snap make a better read.
And I know it's only been, one more game, but how do you feel compared to last week? You talked about, like decision-making, execution. Do you feel like you've improved?
I think I've improved a little bit. I still need to get a lot better for us to start winning games, start execute a lot better, put our teams in better situations, score points. Can't throw picks in the red zone when there's a great chance for points on the board, and just have to prepare better to get our team in better situations.
I don't know how close you are over there, but you're from Illinois. How did it feel to be playing Northern Illinois?
They recruited me throughout the whole process. I knew some of those coaches, and I know some of the players that go there. It was fun to play some of those guys. Next year we'll see them again, so I can see those guys again, and just want to come out and do a little better next year against them.
And just out of curiosity, did your life pass before you when you fumbled there on the 1 yard line? And Kenny, I think it's Kenny or somebody picked it up.
Yeah, I didn't feel good about that one. Have to be better with the ball and not put our team in a situation like that. But Kenny made a great play picking it up and getting positive yards.
And what have you been focusing on in particular with your passing game? Like better reads or better not forcing the ball in? Anything in particular, or all of the above?
I think it all just comes with preparing and knowing what the defense is in. And when you know what the defense is in, you'll know where to attack their weak points. And then just coming in, watching film with the coaches, and getting the players to do that too. And everyone just start executing better when we know what they're going to do.